Okay, you've got 1 minute to say something about no light. Yeah, no light. No kidding! No light. There's no light. It's dark. It's so dark. Well, flip the coin, man. What? Flip the coin! I mean, you have to learn to flip the coin. What does he mean with that? Flip the freaking coin! Flip the freaking coin! Flip the freaking coin! Flip. Okay, no light. I want to put a light up there. I mean, I already put the main thing on. But now I have this. And I don't want this to be white. But I want the cloth, I want it inside so that you can still see this. Of course, I could save myself some time. I have chosen to take this t-shirt because of the color, but also because I don't like it. I never wear it anyway. It's too tight. So I could do it like this, of course, and then just fix it around it. Actually, that actually works. I mean, it could work. Or you somehow put it on the inside. Well, now that's a very good question. Maybe I should kind of check it first, how it would look like. Because now this doesn't look... Okay, if it's up there, would you rather see this? I mean, it's not gonna be like this if I do it. Or this. Well, now that's a difficult question. Of course, it could be tried before making it, but in any case, it somehow has to go over. Okay, what am I doing now? Yeah, I'm just checking. Because there's all kinds of ways in which this can be done. Right, you could even do something with this. But it shouldn't look too creepy or freaky. But I mean, this could even work. If you would build some kind of a frame around it. Nah. Because you get it, right? It's gonna hang like this. So... I know I actually like just the fabric. But now if it's like this, I can check how it would look like. So what I have to do is... Okay, now I need something. I don't know, man. I'm trying to fix this, but I just don't know how to get this off. It's infuriating. I mean, to a certain degree it's okay. But it's still very infuriating. Sometimes you just wish you could, you know, just fix something, and then you realize it doesn't work. Okay, because now, right, I cannot do this and hold it at the same time. But I could. Put the camera here. Move this around. You see, you always find a way. Just to have to make sure it stays on. Plus I have to make sure I can get there, which I cannot. So sometimes solutions are only half as good as you thought they were. Which means that now I have to actually get the ladder and for that I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to be right back. That's actually not the letter I thought I would get, but it's the one that was here. Right. You know. In a way, I actually really like taking myself away from unbalanced people. And that's clearly not a joke. That's simply how I feel like after having been pushed around one too many times or used by people that thought they were smarter. Okay. I think this is gonna hold. Okay. Okay, this is not connected to any electricity. So now I have to get these wires just into there. And what I know, I think it doesn't matter which goes in where. I'm still trying to stop biting my fingernails, but I just don't seem to manage. I mean, as long as I spend as much time on my own as I do, oh, this is for Earth? There's only two. Okay, this is kind of loose. Oh. Okay, we'll see. So now you have to So I'm just gonna do it the easy way first. I was thinking of a more complicated thing. But I mean, I can just plug this into the... I barely use this power thing down there anyway. And this saves me the trouble of opening up stuff. I mean, I could get into the underlying electricity wire, but then of course you have to turn off electricity if you work on that. Why is this so loose? Yeah, it cannot be helped. Okay, so I think there should be a third one. Anyway, what I'm saying is it's not there. Right, sometimes people think they're looking for something, and until they realize that it's not where they thought it is, you know, it may be too late. So whatever they wanted, they have simply left already. or moved on so far that they simply cannot get to it anymore. So people often underestimate the price they pay for their freedom, because you may be betrayed, right, of your, maybe you can call it integrity. I don't actually know what that means. So I was thinking, pushing around in my mind, how I wanted to do this. But at some point you just have to do it, you know? I mean, there's so many stories of unfulfilled relationships, but ultimately, if you want it, I mean, in a way you have to try, but there's no guarantee, right? But if you've gone far enough and looked deep enough, and at one point, I mean, maybe as a woman, you don't necessarily need this one, you know, do you need children, right? That's a tough one. A lot of women think they have to have children. But if you can just find something to invest yourself into, because sometimes no light is also, you've been overburdened. Other people have been giving you too much of their responsibility for themselves. And you were running around trying to help them until you realized that it's impossible. Because the further you go for them, right, the more you neglect yourself. And so sometimes maybe you just have to do your own thing and just say, you know what, survival of the fittest, you do you, right? If you cannot survive, then you're weak. And if you're weak, then nature or life will take care of you, you know? Simple as that. I mean, not everyone's Simba and returns to take responsibility, right? Some people just run away. So if you're running away into helping other people, you know, good job. I rather do it in a way that shows me who I actually am. You know, I'm a bit selfish. I'm a bit like a cat, which is why I connect well with Egyptians. I'm not like, I don't know what these, I mean, I don't even see them as, okay, maybe this sounds strange, but sometimes people say, whoa, 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 whoa. You see, I thought this might happen. So it's probably wise. You see, I was just trying to judge people and then suddenly I start falling away. Whoo, whoo, whoo. But it's like this. Sometimes you feel like people, you know, they're not even pigs. Because pigs are social. Wow, that was intense. You know? I mean, pigs are social, right? Why do we always pick on ticks for? Pigs. Pigs. I mean, I have no problem with pigs. So you see what I'm doing here, right? I'm just giving you a bit of my light, which is my time, which is what you think you need. So, sure, I have had moments where I was incredibly, you see, I wanted to do this different, but now I'm just going to keep it like this.
simply because it then just came out in this way. Wow, that actually quite scared me. Because suddenly, you know, whatever you're standing on starts to move. But I do truly believe this. I don't know how I'm supposed to call some animals, some people. Because to me, that's not even how animals are. Because I don't see them doing mass production, right? I just have to make sure this is okay. Now I know this is here. Now all I want to see is how it looks like. First of all, I don't know if this is still intact, right? It might have been broken already. Looks a bit broken to me. Let's see. Okay, now I have to have a map. Ah, I have one. Right, so sometimes I do things that are not incredibly wise, but then I did them anyway. Then you say, why did I just do this? I don't know, everything always has to get dirty and stained, and cleansing is really a continuous process. Every time you start judging stuff, you just have to stay on track. Try to focus on yourself a lot. You know, that kind of stuff. This is the wrong one? What? Or is this thing broken? Well, now you have to check it in another one. Frustration 101. See, every time I hit such a spot, I don't want to continue. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. Why isn't it working? Wait. Now this one also isn't working? What? Oh, it wasn't working before. I just forgot about it. There was something like a loose contact. Yeah, you see, it's still working. Now I have to check if this one is working.
Or is this one broken? Because now you don't know. What's the problem? Because this is unusual. I'd say these things oh boy. It's like they've got dogs and then they don't do anything with them. And then they just run around barking. Barking mad people with barking mad dogs. Well, there is nothing wrong with this connection. That much is sure. Because these are fixed in there. So the only thing I can see is that there may be something wrong with this here. You can just try it one more time, but if it doesn't work, then I have to replace this. Which means that I have to take this whole thing off again, which annoys me, but I cannot help it. Because now I have to replace this thing, but then I also can align this so it comes out at the bottom. So sometimes I don't know if I should go down, but if I'm honest, I just don't like people. Because so many people are just so bad-tempered. So I just don't want to spend time with them. And I even can say that. You see, it's not even 100%. You know, I did something here, but it didn't work 100%. Now I just want to turn this off and work on it just by being calm, you know? I was looking for this excuse to make a coffee, and now I finally have it, right? Now I can just, sit here again, talk to you about light, and share a bit of my frustration. That's really what I'm going to do now. But I'm gonna do it somewhere else. Right? I'm not gonna do it here, simply because I choose to. I'm gonna do this without the camera, because it's too difficult. I cannot focus on all of this stuff and then at the same time talk about this. Plus I was just looking for a way out of doing it in such a way. And that sometimes is a good choice. Just want to wear some other clothes. I'll stick with the trousers. I think there's something I'm trying to express here. You know, women aren't the only ones who are looking for completion, right? There's men here struggling as well, right? There's men here struggling and they're also looking for completion. I mean, maybe I'm just trying to explain to you how I'm asking for guidance. How I feel like everything I try to do just falls away. Right? Everything I'm trying to do is just being broken and corrupted. And you sit there at the end of the day and think, what have I done wrong? I mean, is this me or is this the world? Right? Is this me or is this the world? All I know is that it's basically frustration. It's just frustration. It's just frustrating that you never get anything. Because people are too selfish. They are unable to share, right? They don't want to share their space. They don't want to share nothing. They just want to keep it all to themselves. But when they have it, they do nothing with it. Right? They just wanted it, but once they have it, they don't know what to do with it. And then you ask yourself, was it worth it? I mean, was it really worth it? I mean, was it supposed to happen in such a way? Just because you were too selfish with yourself? I said, now I'm going to be selfish with myself. And once you realize, oh wow, he seems like he's doing good now. I mean, if walking 200 meters is a problem, then we have a problem. And there's no Houston anymore. There never was, because they never went. And that's just so obvious to see. Because if they would have, there'd be tourists swarming the place. But they're not. Which clearly says, we weren't there. Right? We weren't there. Ever. At all. We just acted like it. Right? We just acted tough. We just said we would do it just because, and now they're actually making a movie about it. Isn't that crazy? You know, we've been saying it all along. I mean, that's the crazy bit. We've been actually saying it all along. And now they're making a movie about it. And you can say, well, you know, no. Somebody had the balls to turn it into a movie because there were so many people that have already known this. And everybody said, well, that's a lie. Well, the truth is, if they would have managed to get people to the moon in 60-something, then this place would be swarming by now, because money certainly isn't the problem. And neither are resources, because if they wanted to, they'd get to it. Which means we've never been there. And I have talked to people who have studied this, and they said that this is, you cannot live in this space. You cannot live in this space, in space, because it's in that sense empty. And now, I actually didn't think I was talking about this. But why am I talking about this? Well, okay, just look at it from that perspective. You know, what's space? You could say it's unconscious realm. So, I would say, from my perspective, and I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have been testing these things in all sorts of ways. And I have b I mean, consciousness stuff, right? There are areas that are so empty that the only way I can call them is something like the never never. It's a place that almost doesn't exist. It's like, I have called it in mentality of a warrior, I don't know, sorry for the price, you could say, but it's serious business. If you want to really grow and face the challenge, this is not mass production stuff. This is, you really want to know something and you're making an investment. I'm just trying to make sure that my work is being honored, because I was several times facing, you know, suicide just to get to the places where you get certain informations. This is a bit like the Eldricks, right? Going to truth, but every time you go there, there's a cost involved. So you cannot keep doing this because you do pay a certain price. I mean, I am kind of alone most of the time, right? I mean, in my mind, nobody gets me. That's a price that you know, would need to be willing to pay. That you dive into the darkness. That's simply the way of the shaman, which has always been. But today there are people who call themselves shamans who never went through this cleansing. A shaman that is having warts, a shaman that looks sick or diseased, that is kind of crippled, has lost his way. You know, normally shamans are really well built, they're strong, they're tough, they look fair. That's when you know that the shaman still manages to keep channeling. So you have to really look at the people, right? I mean, to receive treatments and then pay lots of money for it, well, you're certainly not gonna get better. You can talk yourself into getting better. But there's a difference between getting better and talking yourself into getting better. I mean, you have to really focus on yourself. And if you are at places where they say, you know, after the ceremony is done, we're all gonna hug each other, you know, I would recommend to you that you refuse, and then you'll see their true faces. Then you'll see who they really are. If they get pissed because you want to maintain your space, I mean, I've heard of young girls that went to some kind of South America and then they did mushrooms with a guy and then he had sex with her. But afterwards he just threw her away. How many of these girls do you think exist? Was it good or bad? I mean, she's defiled now. I mean, I really mean that. For a woman, I don't know, it's just not the way. It's just not the way. This is how you breed porn stars. Just take them and throw them away. You do realize why I have then said to stick with this one woman that I met, where we bonded, and why I keep talking about this. You know, this wasn't just a selfish act for myself, this was something else. And for me, this connection, then maybe it's like the name of the rose, right? Well, what happened in the name of the rose? He slept with this one young woman, but ultimately he realized that he wasn't going to stick with her, so he kept walking his own path. And although he never saw her again, he still felt her on the other side for the rest of his life. Well, if this was it for me, then I would accept it. But I have given this woman all the means to contact me, so, right, I was simply forbidden to contact her anymore. Because you could say I pushed it a bit too far, but that's actually not true. I simply pushed it until it was accepted as, okay, I think that's enough. You know, that's just what I said, or that's just what I did. I simply said I'm going to push this to the edge. Okay, so what do you want to get out of this? Listening to me talking about my life. I mean, I'm showing you what I'm doing. I mean, I'm suffering, I'm struggling, there's hardship. I try to find my way through, but I cannot record this with the light thing apparently, because it's too much pressure. I don't know, I feel like there's something happening inside of me. There's some kind of a transformation that has been happening for quite some time, where I realized I simply cannot accept certain things anymore, right? I cannot accept other women. I cannot accept certain treatments. I cannot accept certain forms of also treatments, not just in the sense of medical procedures, but also how I'm being treated. Certain things are just unacceptable, but instead of shouting at you, I'll just make my point probably, and then it's highly likely that you will not see me for a very long time. And that's simply my way of showing you that I don't need you, because a lot of people, they pride themselves. If you keep coming to them, they think, oh wow, you know, he must really like me. I must really have something special. But you actually do not. I just thought I was helping you. I thought I'd bring you some of the light. Well, if you are a bit like me, and you seem to carry something, like a torch, then you should be a rare occasion to most people. But you should be something like you can rely on for your wife. And this is where you have to take responsibility, where you say, well, in a sense, I have sometimes seen myself as some kind of a guardian angel. I'm just saying. This is just a perspective I had during an ayahuasca ceremony. And there was this woman, and I felt like I'm here for her, you know? So, yeah, that's basically how it all started. Suddenly there was this woman, and suddenly I felt like there is some kind of a mission here. And it's not like I had a choice. I felt like, in a spiritual sense, she needed help. But the only thing I can give is myself. So I gave myself. And that's all, right? Because women also, you know, there's women that want to be mothers, but they will probably not say so. And they're looking for a man to feel completion, right? But which man are you gonna pick? Because you're also running out of time. We all are running out of time. So you only have a limited amount of time. And when you are now, but time is still relative, right? So any eternity compresses itself into, right, one moment. And in the end you look back and then that's your life. And you know, there's life flashing before your eyes before you die. I mean, I've been looking at my life for such a long time, and I often look back, but I certainly move forward. And I think it's important that we always remember
You have to eat the melon. The melon lord. You know, remember that one? Yeah? Right, the melon lord. You see, Aang couldn't even do it when it was just play acting. And that's how you know who you really are. I mean, sometimes you can play act cheating, but then you won't do it. And you may play act cheating a couple of times until you realize I just cannot do it. You know? It's just impossible. I cannot cheat on this woman, or on this man, or on this belief, or on this faith, or on my own life. You know, I cannot cheat on it. It simply is too precious. Right? I have been given this dream, this life, and now I'm trying to wiggle out of it. I'm trying to escape it. I mean, who am I to say I can leave? Sure, you can, but I mean, it feels kind of weak, right? It feels kind of wrong. It feels kind of stupid. So sometimes you just have to sit through it because you know in your heart, and if I cheat on this woman, I will hate myself for the rest of my life. And you even say, wow, I don't even care if I ever see her again. I mean, it would be nice, but I cannot cheat on this because it's just too precious. Right? And then you also know, right, if it's true it will come back, but it will only come back if you both held your faith towards each other. Right? I mean, if Romeo would have said, yeah, I don't really care about you. I mean, they would have just never ever continued. So yeah, no light, go look for some. I mean, leave the house. Find beauty in the small things. I find beauty in moments like this. Keep yourself busy. That's very good advice. And always look for something. Have your visions. And then work towards them. And sometimes you're going to be under so much pressure that you cannot see the light. But also give yourself some slack. I mean, you can choose, right? Plus, you're running for nobody but yourself. You're running for nobody but yourself. And if you have a full life, then, you know, a woman can come and you have a child. Or maybe you're gonna have two right away, right? Maybe you're gonna have triples. You know, it's hard to say. But whatever it's going to be life. And sometimes the night is dark and full of terrors. Right? And sometimes you're sitting in some kind of miracle garden, eating cantaloupe melons straight from the tree. I mean, that's just how it is. You know, times of plenty, times of little. Do you live in the Amazon rainforest? No. Where do you live? Well, you know, every night it's getting dark. Every night it's getting dark. And every time it gets dark, you know, the beings of day wait for the sun. So at night, you look at your shadow. So when it's dark, you have to look at your shadow, right? That's all the darkness you carry. And you can express it with art to understand what you're feeling. Which is why, sure, Jim Tippett's Mad God or something can be perceived on many levels. In a way, yes. Something is always eating something. Right, you're a plant, you'll get eaten. But your body will get eaten by plants at some point as well. I mean, that's the Lion King. So, I mean, is this really nice? Is this romantic? No. As long as you're strong enough, you'll feast on others. And from the point you know, cannot keep going, you know, others will feast on you. But we're all spirit. So it's this self, you know, that's the Ouroboros. It's the self-absorbing principle. Everything nature creates, and whatever that which nature creates, will be re-ingested by nature again. So you cannot really kill life. Because what also we see, you know, there may be war somewhere, but there's no war here then. But here there's a lot of psychological warfare, you know? There's a lot of mind war and that kind of stuff. Spirit war, right? Creating problems so you can get paid to solve them. You know, that kind of stuff. I know, I just had to think of Mob Psycho 100 or something. I liked it in the beginning because there's this phony shaman, ghost hunter kind of guy. And he just knows nothing. But he acts like he does. And then there's this school kid who has all these abilities. So yeah, maybe your light was... maybe they tried to take it away. Early schooling, right? Make you forget that you've got light so they can harvest it. That's actually what has happened in this time. I mean, it's really scary if you think about it. But then you realize what's scary. I mean, you've got no light. Read the Book of Fear that Christopher wrote. Yeah, nice try, you know. I'm never gonna give in to that. I'm just gonna use your free content because, you know, I don't want you to grow, you know. I don't want you to work on your dream. I just want to work on mine. So I'm just gonna take everything you give me, right? But what I have, I'll keep to myself. Well, if it serves you, right? Just makes you a bit of a dick. Who never questioned. Sometimes the question, do you keep the cream? Or do you chuck it into your mouth? So yeah, I'm stuck at now having to find a solution. I was thinking of making art drawings, but it's just too much at the moment. I feel like I have shared more than enough on Instagram. I mean, there's 3,000 something posts and 36 followers, right? I mean, I cannot help it. If you look at my content and then you think, well, I like it, and then you don't like it, I mean, I cannot change that. So I have mostly, you know, I wish I'd be making, in a way, faster progress. And sometimes I slow myself down because it's actually then too fast. And then I simply realize, okay, it's like I'm supercharged, but I cannot maintain this pace. It's just driving me insane. Sometimes I just need like a day of a bit of relaxation where I just want to read and render the videos. So the way it's going for me is not all the time 100%. Sometimes I have like 5 left, and then I have to take the time to recharge, right? And then keep going. So, but in the end, what have I left? Well, I have myself, I have the ability to create, and the somehow faint hope, or the idea that maybe people are going to show an interest in my work, and that I can simply speak about the things that I have discovered. Or that at least people spend time on my content. But you also have to get that, as much as I like being alone and creating, I don't really feel like being alone all the time. And there are these weird moments where you just think, I mean, what kind of an existence is this? I mean, am I just waiting here, holding my ground for this woman? I mean, what kind of an existence, what kind of a purpose is this? Is this noble? Should I feel ashamed of myself? Should I hate myself? Should I like myself? So, I mean, every day I wake up, but in terms of physical stuff, that I can say, I own this building, I own this house, I pay the rent myself, you know, that kind of stuff, I've got nothing, right? I have, for the moment, I'm allowed to live here, but for how long? Let's say I'm doing this, and I like doing it, and in 5 years' time, I mean, it's unlikely that I'm still going to be doing this the way that it is being done now. So, how am I supposed to know what's going to happen? Right?
right now I feel like I'm never going to travel again. For maybe ethical reasons or other kinds of reasons. But maybe in 6 months, suddenly I'm traveling, you know? So there have been these unexpected vacations before. But what I really feel like doing is actually being here and building myself a life. But every time I try that, everything crumbles. So I realize it doesn't work that way. You know, you cannot just go around and then try to motivate people to join you, because in this day and age, right, you need your own space. You need your own space. And then you can get there together and do whatever needs to happen. And that's something I've realized. But if I think about having my own space, and then I think about earning money, and then thinking about all these weird contract things and having to transfer money and all that kind of stuff, I mean, it's not really what I would like to be doing. It's too complicated for me. So in a sense, I don't want to do it. Right? I don't want to do it. You know, if you have money, then you have to do something with it. But that's just too complicated. I'm not really living in the same world as a lot of other people are. There are things I just cannot do any longer. So all I can try is to just keep on pushing. But, you know, I'm scared of what's gonna come out at the end, because I don't really know what that is going to be like. Plus, I don't really trust anybody. Everybody's kind of dishonest and corrupt. So, too many things. Too many days on my own, perhaps. It makes no sense. Life is weirder than ever. There were times where I actually felt like I knew what I was doing, but now it's kind of lost. So I'm just sleeping a lot because I just don't know what else I should be doing. It's just too heavy. I mean, everything I try, I really mean that. It's just stuck. So I do simple things, right? I just do simple things. And maybe it's because I'm stretching the content out so far into the future. And it's heavy. Everything just seems really heavy. So you just keep on tiptoeing around like some kind of a deep hole. Well, yeah, maybe you may fall into it. And then you fall, and then you land somewhere, and then you have to crawl out of it again. And then you feel like so vulnerable and close to tears and no hope left. So what? I mean, you just keep on climbing, right? But you never know where you're going to come out or how you're going to come out. But if you feel like running, you go running. If you feel like making art, you make art. Sometimes you think you should make art, but you feel like doing something else because you realize, what's the point? I mean, I have done so much art and I find this really beautiful, but it's also in a way so meaningless, because I mean, if people just start showing less and less of an interest, then I'll just occasionally do some art, but it's not going to be my main thing. So I have these small tasks. One of my new horizons is the finalization of YouTube 2025, right? That's what I'm working hard to achieve now. And then I have these smaller projects, such as also dishes I want to cook, you know, like the ice cream, that was a project. Not drinking coffee for 2 days or something, or 3 days, that was a project. And then this light thing, that's kind of a project. And now it's turning out to be more complicated than I thought it was. And that is a bit annoying in and out of itself. Because now I've already prepared this thing and then it doesn't work. That's very frustrating. So now I'm simply going to look for a way to make it work anyway. And I think I probably have a solution for this problem. I think I have a solution. But if I would do it still in this video, because this is already 1 hour 13. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. This is also still a project, hiking. On Saturday I have to go hiking. But depends also a bit on the weather. I think it's gonna be alright. Yeah, and then you say it's all super emotional. This perspective is really nice. It's all super sad. Poor Christopher, poor little baby. Yeah. Peekaboo! Peekaboo! Yeah, rendering videos. Yeah, I cannot continue like this. Now I drank coffee, I feel like I owe it to myself. See? Dirt. Everything is always so dirty. Okay. Mission number 1. Put the melon lord back into the fridge. You know what I'm saying with that, right? Put the melon lord back into the fridge. Put the melon lord back into the fridge. No, 1 coffee later, he's super happy. How can he change that fast? Because he's a genius. And he knows the secret ways. In and out of his misery. In and out of his misery, alright. In and out of his misery. In and out of his misery, alright. In and out of his misery. In and out of his misery, alright. Okay, first things first. Approaching finalization of YouTube 2025. Okay, this is proving more difficult than I thought it was. Which now means that I don't know how to proceed. Oh yeah, my first things first. So what? Holy smokes. Okay, what is this now? Okay, so it's clearly not. So this seems to be broken, right? So now the question is how to connect this. Because unless I have something to replace this, but I cannot think of anything at the moment. So I either have to go look for something, I have to buy something, or I have to be okay with this being like this for a while. And then just, right, maybe my parents can help me with this, because I looked up in the storage room, there was nothing. Right, so I have nothing here at the moment. Okay, there's possibly one place upstairs where I could check one more time. Because I just need a replacement for this. Oh. So I'm just gonna check once more. Okay. So there's one more point about actually taking this one. Okay, now I first have to open this. This is like, that's what you have to do. You have to open the box of Pandora. And then you have to start looking at it. And that's what I have been doing. Now this could actually be much nicer. You see, now I can take this and put it up there. Or I take this one, which is here already anyway, and just take this instead. But now I have already made holes, and it's unlikely that they fit. Plus I have already chosen this one, like, yeah. So the other thing is, of course, if I take this from here, then I have to get another one for this one. Plus, the way it looks like, I mean, this is a strange choice to be making, because this also has completely different setup. Now I have to see if I could even get that in there, because there seem to be completely different, right? So this was fixed on here. It probably would be a good choice to first check if it's maybe the wire, which is why I can test it on this one first. Because maybe it's something else. Which is why sometimes it takes a long time to figure out, you know, what's been blocking you. Well, this is a nice setup. It doesn't seem to matter which one is which. Okay, it's highly likely that I won't manage. What a stupid setup. I mean, it's highly likely that I have to do this again. What? So now I can make two choices. I either see if this one works, and then I'll take it away. So all I have to do to check this is now put this in here and then plug in the power plug. And then I know that the cable works. Ta-da! Wait, can you see this? You see what I'm saying? Okay, so I know the cable works. So I know that this is broken. So all I need is to replace this. And now, of course, the question is, you see, now I have sorted out certain things. Maybe you've been trying to have a child with your woman, but somehow it doesn't work. Well, hold your planks. Look at your diet. Sort out your life. If you know she's the one you want to give a child is a gift from a loving man to his woman, or from a loving woman to his man, to her man. So you give yourself to a woman gives herself to you. And from that shall be born a being of light, which in this world has been kind of forgotten, but not entirely. There are still people who uphold certain principles. So I'm gonna look for a replacement for this, but at least I have sorted out, I have pinpointed the culprit. I know now this is like this. And now what I can do actually is simply to check how this would look like. Okay, you see now this is like this. But if I put it onto the inside, okay, this is going to be hard to test. That's actually the nice about I don't know, man. Maybe it's a stupid idea. Doesn't even seem bright enough. Right? I mean, if you want to put this on to have light, then that's clearly the wrong setup. Right? I mean, there's even other things, other lamps you could put in here. I mean, you don't have to take it the way it is. You could do it different. Because there also are other things which you can work into this. And that may actually prove better. But how? Then 2 lights? Or like a circular thing? Or should you work with... No, I'm not quite sure. But there are also these tubes you can get. I mean, I could put a tube into this thing, like that. Like a spiral. Work it into this thing. This is gonna help me fix it against the wall. Right? And then inside there's going to be this light. And then I can possibly... But it would be nice if that would be on the outside. But of course, if I have like a tube thing in there, I'm always afraid of these things breaking. But all you can do is try. I mean, there are lots of ways. I think I would like this. This looks beautiful. So the problem I have at the moment is if I put in a cloth, you're not going to be able to, which is why whatever is shining the light in here should be bright. Or I should just put some kind of like a color in there, like spray paint or something. But maybe you could even do it different. But how? Well, or a different, like a finer kind of fabric, something really thin. That's also a possibility. So there's simply several ways to do this. All I know is it's not that important. I can take my time with this. But I also have to make sure I know what I want it to be. So I'm probably going to look for like an LED tube and then put that in there so that it's bright enough. So I'm just going to look this up real quickly, just to have a price range. Okay. Just for a rough idea, €6 something. But sometimes, I like to go to the shops that are that are here in the area, because I'm tired of ordering stuff. It's not that important. Now you're looking for something. But this is generally how I proceed, right? So sometimes you just don't know. So you have to make an effort and then find a solution. But sometimes you also have to wait a little for a solution to present itself. So right now I'm looking at this page. I'm clicking on this and nothing's happening. Now. What is this? Yeah, you got nothing. Okay. Okay, so it's roughly 17 euros. But that could work. But it's 6 meters, it's a bit overkill. Okay, so I'll just have to look for something else. But yeah, I mean, you know, the idea I had is different from what I'm getting. So maybe this one's nicer, but it's still not bright enough. So I'm just gonna look for a solution. Maybe this is also not gonna come up there. I don't know, man. Sometimes it's just the way it is. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. No light, well, you have to keep looking, you know? You have to keep looking. Cheers. Cheers. No, I'm actually, you know, I'm serious. You just have to keep looking. That's all you can do. And that's part of the fight, right? So no light my ass. Apparently there were people that needed my light. And now you won't believe this. But I went all the way to this shop. Right? It's probably about a 30-minute walk. And I ran through the city. I also bought some bananas and some peanut butter. And I bought this. And then I came here and you know, something happened while I was in the shops. I had this with me, which is the one that I, you know, felt like, yeah, it doesn't work. I had this with me. And now comes the whole point. Okay, just give me a second. But now I have to find a way, of course. So I was holding this and I was looking into it, like in here. And then I realized that here on the side there was something and I wasn't sure if it was a part of it. I just touched it and something fell out and I thought, if this is gonna work now, I mean, but okay, hey, I apparently had to show myself to some people. You know, I don't really know how all of this channeling, you know, I have something to give, how do I give it? Well, sometimes it's just your presence at a certain moment in a shop where you just go there and you carry the light for them. In a way, this is basically Gandalf. I mean, it is, seriously, that is what it is. It's Gandalf. and you simply carry the light for others. And now I came back and it just works. I mean, I can show you, or you can just trust me. We've just tested it. I mean, it's the same thing, and I'm not kidding you. So actions do have meaning, because in a sense, I knew exactly where to go, although I felt like not going there. And I always feel a bit betrayed, a bit cheated, if I give somebody something. You see? And I was so sad, because this is such good quality, right? And then this is just plastic. And now I can use it. I mean, isn't that a very warm, welcoming message? I think so. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this so we can all cheer, because Christopher maybe has been accepted in certain ways. But why or how is probably impossible to understand. It's just something about you've got energy and you show yourself, and sometimes it's just you and a smile. But me and my smile certainly are not for everyone. There are people that I meet when I'm out and about. I don't give them anything, but I also don't leave the house every day. I leave the house when I feel like it, and sometimes I leave the house and nobody gets nothing. Not even like, nothing friendly, not even, you know, sometimes I don't even look at people. But sometimes I feel like there are some people, very few people, where for a short moment I can open myself. And that's the spark. That's what used to be normal. Now you have to keep it safe. Keep it secret, right? That kind of thing. Because in the end, the ring could be used in all kinds of ways. And I mean, let's face it, Gandalf was wielding his own kind of power. So now this just needs to be okay. I could put it up here. Or I put it here. Right, now I can choose. I can put it here or here. If I put it here, then the cable has to come like this. If I put it here, so maybe it's even better down here. But now the question is, how is this positioned again? Like this. So if I put this here, and the cable comes from down here, and then in here, and then like this, I think that's better. So sometimes you just have to fiddle around a little. And then you have to pin yourself down, but there was clearly something blocking me. You know why it works that way? You know, this is why spirituality is about acceptance. You feel like you've got something to give. That's all you need to know. You feel like you've got something to give, but what you have to figure out is who to give how much to. And that's no joke. This is literally what's been happening. A lot of phony people, they realize they can get something from someone and then they just suck them dry. So there's places I have simply stopped going. Because I had to first figure out, you know, how it's happening. How people get something out of me. And then I had to learn to close myself, because I have been, in a sense, born
open or something. So happy this thing still works because it's the original and I actually didn't want to replace it. I still need to check. Okay. You know, you could even work with tin foil or something. Yeah. Okay. Now if I can see this is gonna be like this, or I can of course twist it. It's gonna be like this. And then the cable is coming from down below. So you have to really look at where your juice is going. I just had another look at Mad God. Well, all I can say is it's clearly creative. I mean, I don't want to say necessarily good, bad, whatever. But it's clearly creative. And it's about creation. I just don't know why it has to be so weird and disgusting. But it was what he felt like showing. The gooey part of creation. So I've been thinking about that line, Mad God is more like pus. Because it's true. It is. But you can find beauty in a pus bubble. I mean, anyone who remembers being something like a teenager and having these giant pimples that you then press out and the pus just explodes out of it. I mean, there's something relieving, very relieving about this tension that leaves you, right, with the pus bubble. I mean, you get what I'm saying. Okay, now I had this idea, it should have been like this. Okay. So, are you hanging in there with me, or am I hanging in there with you? Well, for now, I'm just going to see. Oh. So if we check this now.
yeah, these things you put in there so that the screw holds are not super tight somehow. So it holds. Sweet! And I didn't want to do the whole thing. I mean, this is something simple, but it may take a long time. Okay, this of course is too long, but I cannot help that now. I simply have to see. Okay, now this, I have to see if I want to, well, first we can try how it looks like. Okay, could actually be quite nice. Now, if it would be like this, yeah, it's not enough light. I would have to invest into something stronger light in there. But I think if it's like this, I don't know what's the purpose of this. I think at some point I'm going to add something else. Plus, of course, I have to
Oh, that's actually interesting. That's actually interesting. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can get that to work. Because what I could do is simply add another light bulb. Because I still have this, alright, I have this. Could just add another light bulb. And then simply put it in there. And then fix it somehow. So let's just see if it would. I mean, that's actually what I like about the creative process. You see what I'm saying, right? Like this. I don't think it would work. I mean, it could, but only if I manage to. Well, it could actually work. Because it can even stick out like this. Okay, now I have this here. Okay, how do you take this off? I mean, come on, I can just take this then. You see this cheap stuff. Really cheap stuff. I'm just gonna test this. This is gonna be weird, but interesting. These are the things you've never done.
wait. What am I trying to do here? Oh yeah. I have to open this. Whoa! Be careful, eh? Actually, normally you're supposed to cut away from yourself. Okay. I mean, this is an experiment now. But if I do some nice yoga sessions, I don't know. Maybe it's worth a bit extra light. Right, so I know there is no electricity on it. And I still think I just shocked myself. Yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, let's just see. I'm just gonna put another light bulb in there. And then I'll know, right? Everything else is just... But I'm gonna go extra safe. Wow. Can I touch this? Is it gonna explode? Oh, I'm super scared. So was this the one that worked? Or was this the one that didn't work? I mean, this is nice, but it's also work, right? You put in the work, you don't put in the work. I think it broke. Okay, I'm gonna get 2 LEDs from the top. Just a second. Yeah, I'm boycotting all my neighbors. It's just simple. If you screw with me, I'm gonna ignore you. Very simple. Okay, just checking. Okay, which means that now I can test this.
just to see how it's just a bit tricky then. Okay, that's not gonna work. Huh? You see, but it is better. Plus, in a sense, because it's LED, it will not. It consumes less. I mean, like this, right? No, it doesn't get hot, right? Okay, like this. Something like this, right? So it's a double thing. But I'm not yet quite sure if I should put this. So this is on the inside. Okay. First attempt This is like draft number 1. Could even make it like this. I don't know. Right, attach it with string. But then I have to check during the night. Okay, I'm going to leave it. It is possible that I will do something, but actually keep it like this. So this can go out like there. Okay, but that's for when it's dark. And until then, I'm just going to keep it. Plus I can put this over there actually. Then I don't have to cut it. I can just let it go down on the edge. I actually like that. Okay. See you later. Okay, I'm gonna do this recording now. I mean, this is exactly what it was supposed to be. So now I'm just gonna test this just for you to... I mean, I'm not gonna test this for you. Wait, what is this? Oh, that's the floor. Okay, I'm gonna test this just to get a feeling. Right, so I'm probably gonna leave it like this, which is, I don't know. So I could just take some things and open these arms up on the side, just like that. Right, so you take these normal things you use, and then if you want this to stay open, well, you can just put a pin in it. I have some pins, and then if you wanted to, well, this is a bit, here I'm not so sure whether this should go like, whether this should simply be closed or done maybe in a way like this. I could use a string, then connect it to the top. I could also do it like this. I could pull it upwards to just get it out of the way. Well, that is a bit hard to say now without actually putting something into the ceiling. Some people may say is inadvisable. I could also take two sides like this. Well, this is a bit
Okay, I don't want this to... Okay, I have to clearly think about this. But I mean, how would it look like? I mean, you could do it. Well, that shouldn't be done like this. I feel like this should be open to the side, just like that. Maybe like this, right? Will probably create a nice effect. And this has to be somehow gotten out of the way. Or I'm going to cut this but now I know it could also be done like this. So I just close it on the sides, stretch it a bit out. But then what happens with this? I can do it like this, certainly. Well, now I can hold it like this, and then I can look at the camera recording, and then I can decide if I like it. Okay. But, you know, you're just getting the idea. I think that's enough to roughly show how it looks like. It's certainly better with 2 light bulbs. And so I'm gonna turn this recording off and then just see. So it's always a bit of a gamble being creative, right?